Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Irrelevant might be your MVP. Yes, football to be played, but another 4-touchdown, 0-interception performance for Brock Purdy. And when you look at that through the lens of what Dak Prescott did not do on the road against the Buffalo Bills, well, there's likely a new leader in the clubhouse. Purdy leading his team to a 45-29 victory, win number 11 for a team that inches ever closer to the top overall seed and the all-coveted bye. This hour of HQ is presented by Enterprise. Joe Musso alongside the two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, impressive once again here from San Francisco. Talk to me about the quarterback in Brock Purdy, what you saw from him. I mean, are we ready to just rip that Band-Aid off and say this is the MVP until someone else takes it from him?
Yeah, I think, we should be about ready to do so. Now, the issue with keeping that Band-Aid on might be his teammate in Christian McCaffrey as well, because when you talk about the MVP, most valuable player for that player said team, Christian McCaffrey has meant a lot to the success for the San Francisco 49ers. But we know it's kind of been known to be a quarterback award. And with that being said, Brock Purdy has been the prettiest quarterback we've watched the entire season in the National Football League. Once again, outstanding, stellar play, over 240 yards, four big-time touchdowns. And the thing that I love about Brock Purdy is just he's so cool and calm in the pocket. Everything he does it with ease. Now, he has the luxury of having some of the best pass offensive weapons in the National Football League, but yet and still, he is the guy that's orchestrating all the success. He's the ultimate point guard for their offense, and he continues to dial up big-time assists and big-time plays for that said offense in San Francisco.
2-year CMC points.
Yep.
He's looking to become the 4th player ever to go wire-to-wire as a rushing champion. O.J., Walter, and Emmett all won the MVP in those wire-to-wire rushing championships. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's saying,
I get what you're putting down, and it makes sense, but unfortunately, it's been a quarterback award. But CMC has been one of the best offensive players we watched the entire season. He has so many different couches and beds in opponent's end zone because he's always in the end zone making himself comfortable.
Well, let's get it to the man who had the best view, CBS, NFL on CBS. Charles Davis joining us from the booth, ball always in hand. Charles, I think you could score in the San Francisco offense. That is with all due respect, but again, Brock Purdy distributing the ball at a masterful pace right now. We almost get desensitized to these 40-plus point performance, Charles. I'm sorry to cut you off, but what stood out to you most about Purdy's performance and just the ho-hum nature in which San Francisco has put together these 40-plus point performances?
Yeah, and Joe, let's just get something established right off the top, okay? When you start with all due respect, you're about to disrespect someone, and the idea that I could actually score against someone is absolute disrespect. But I love where you're going with that. You're trying to be polite about the whole thing. Let's talk about Brock Purdy because I heard you and B-Mac talking about it, and I love the points B-Mac was making about this young man. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey has to be in this conversation because he gives them everything. At one point, my partner, Ian Eagle, pointed out that Arizona had run 7 different people touching the football. Christian McCaffrey's the only one who'd run the ball at that point for the San Francisco 49ers, plus catching it out of the backfield, plus pass protecting, plus someone else catches it, he's downfield blocking. You pointed out the people who have been wire to wire in leading the rushing and winning the rushing title. Every one of them did it during the running back era. We're out of the running back era. So unfortunately for Christian McCaffrey, he didn't win it the year he had 1,000 yards on the ground, 1,000 yards in the air. Okay, so that's the reason that it's not happening. It's a different era, but I love the fact that B-Mac brought that up and how valuable he is. Now, very quickly, Purdy is operating with great skilled people around him, but he is making them better. Some of the throws that he is making gives them the opportunity to catch and run, and then they clean up people downfield to give them the extra yards after catch. 6 straight years they've led the NFL in yards after catch. No chance of that being headed this season.
Well, I want to stay in that sort of time frame. I want to talk 3 straight years, or at least across these last 3 years. 22-3 in the months of November, December, and January regular season football. The cast of characters has changed. The staff has changed. How does Kyle Shanahan keep replicating these types of performances when the football matters most?
I think one thing is that they've ramped to this time of year. This time of year they decide to own, and that's when they want to peak and play their best football. 2, their key players are healthy during those months for the most part. Obviously, Purdy hurting his elbow in the NFC Championship game last year changed that outcome in a big way. Philadelphia may have won, but we never got that opportunity to see the best of it. And last but not least, you mentioned the staff and the different changes. Most of those have been on the defensive side. They've gone coordinator to coordinator to coordinator. Saleh, Ryans, Wilks. Each one of them is running essentially the same system. Steve Wilks came in this year, didn't even bring another assistant with him, that trusted guy. He humbled himself and said, I'll learn the way you do it. I'll go from 3-4 to 4-3. I'll play to the strengths of these guys. And then in the middle of the season, he said, okay, I figured out what you do. Let me add to it. Let me give you some of my things now. And they've gotten more aggressive, as Fred Warner has told us. And, boy, it's not just the front four getting after you now. It's the front seven.
All right. Well, we will see if the end scene to this movie will be different than years past. Maybe we're talking about February football for these San Francisco 49ers. That's CD in 3D, and it's always respect. Thank you, Charles.
Big respect to you, Joe. Take care. Hey, B-Mac.
That's the best in the business right there, Charles Davis. We got plenty more coming here on CBS Sports HQ, including historic numbers in Buffalo, and maybe not by the team you expected.